So it seems these Democrats just don't know when to quit. The saying like beating a dead horse, after he's dead with a stick, a bat, or whatever. The election is over. I guess they're gearing up for the midterms in 2 years. But if your plan didn't work in the biggest election of them all, why do you think, especially if you are from Texas, why do you think this using the same plan for the midterms is going to work? But for some reason, Jasmine Crockett think it will. But let's get into this story. This is from foxnews.com. And it reads, Representative Jasmine Crockett says Trump's transgender athlete ban doesn't protect women, faces intense backlash. But we're going to go through this article, but I'm going to tell you what's the most dangerous thing about this whole issue that for some reason it seems like it's missed. But to me, it's the most important thing that they need to be talking about. Anyway, let's get into it. It says most Democrats have opted to remain silent in response to President Donald Trump's executive order banning transgender athletes from women's and girls' sports, which they shouldn't say nothing. Shouldn't nobody say nothing. Because to me, I mean, personally, let's just be honest. Men should be playing against men and women should be playing against women. But the craziest thing is today I met a lady who said that she played football in junior high and high school. She was 200 pounds at one time, but now she's like 120, something like that. It's a whole story, man. My God, it's crazy. But it's a whole story behind it. So we won't even get into that. But anyway, uh, but one Democrat spoke out against it and was heavily criticized. It's always why our sisters always got to just show that they just Lord have mercy. I don't know. I always got to be the face of this debauchery. Representative Jasmine Crockett, Democrat of Texas, spoke out against Trump's executive order in an X post on Wednesday. Quote, on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, Trump is banning trans kids from playing sports, trying to cut Title IX women's and girls athletic grants, removing references to women, female, and equality on government websites, Crockett wrote. Let me be clear, this does not protect women. How you gonna put all three? See, that's what I'm talking about. You put all three statements and lump it in together. Trans people are not the people that they want to be. Let me be clear. Trans people are not the people that they want to be. They are whatever biologically they were born. Period. Point blank. Let's continue. Crockett's criticism of Trump drew fierce backlash from other ex-users. Quote, nothing in your post is true. Transgender kids are not banned from playing sports. They just have to play on teams and in leagues where their sex matches the other athletes, or they can form their own leagues. This was done to keep men from dominating women's sports by pretending to be a woman, aka protecting women's sports. One user wrote, "Yeah, I was going, like I said, I'm going to go through this article because most of the stuff that's in this article, the same thing that I thought, same thing that 99.9% of sane people in this country should be thinking. But it's easy for me just to go through this so I can get to the, like I say, to the other point that I want to get to. But yeah, it just makes no sense having these guys that come in and they dominate these female sports. I mean, dominating them. It's one thing if you got to square up, but you know, because even now, even guy, I don't care. Most men gonna have more strength, more athletic ability than a female will. Period. Now, let's say something like running. I can't run that fast. And I had girl cousins that could just whip me running when growing up. There are women now would just outrun me. Hell, as anybody can outrun me now because I don't run. But I'm talking about my whole life. Had girl cousins could not beat. I remember Marion Jones back in the day. She could dunk a basketball. She was my height, 5'10", 5. She could dunk a basketball with ease. I struggle with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I ain't afraid to admit that. I ain't ashamed to admit that. It's some things that, get a girl that's 6'5", 6'7", they definitely gonna jump higher than me. But if you get somebody who trains the same, even Serena Venus Williams could annihilate me in tennis. But you get a man and a woman training for the same sport day in and day out, and they excel in their sport, you best believe that guy is going to dominate that female, hands down. I'm sorry. Let's see what's next. There was no Title IX grant cut. Any reference to women, female, and equality removed from any government .gov website or removed in the context of transgender gender ideology. Other users suggest Crockett's stance was misogynistic. Why do you care more about the feelings of some biological males over the rights of safety of women? There is a name for it when men are prioritized over women and given more rights. It was taught that that's misogyny, the user wrote. Exactly. Huh. Interesting. Another user pointed out that data suggests most Americans, including Democrats, oppose transgender inclusion in women's sports and that factored in the 2024 election results. This absolutely protects women, and this is what the majority of the country voted for, the user wrote. You had this guy get in the MMA fight and damn near kill this woman, broke bones all in her face, and the Democrats who for this transgender mess said nothing about it. You got a guy swimming in like college meets and just dominating and breaking records, and women and Democrats saying nothing about it. But yet you more concerned with female products making sure they're placed in boys' bathroom because these kids are confused. Kids are confused because grown-ups make them confused. You know that. You know, a child knows exactly how to go to the restroom, where the urine and the poop comes out of. They know exactly how to do that. They know they come out playing with each other. They're got friends. Kids like to play with kids, have fun, grow up together. Don't ain't concerned at all about being what color they are, what race they are, what gender they are. But then it'd be the adults who come in and put these thoughts in these children's minds, like that color's wrong. That person is not right to hang with because of the color of their skin, or that person there, doesn't respect that you like to wear my dresses and my heels and my makeup. So which means that you probably want to be a girl. So they don't respect that. And it's like the kid, like, no, I'm just being like you because of you, the only thing I see. If daddy was around or something like that, then maybe I wouldn't do these type of things. But anyway, a recent New York Times poll, Ipsos survey, found the vast majority of Americans, including the majority of Democrats, don't think transgender athletes should be permitted to compete in women's sports. Of the 2,128 people polled, how many millions of people in this country? Anyway, 79% said biological males who identify as women should not be allowed to participate in women's sports. I always ask myself, who do they be polling? Because nobody ever come to me. Nobody ever call. Well, I don't answer all my calls, but nobody ever come to my house. Nobody ever send me a letter in the mail asking me my opinion on these polls that I read and see on these newscasts. Because most of the time I'm going to, well, let's just say I'm probably not going to agree with a lot of stuff, but this year, out of the 2,128 people, if you would have got 2,128 people up here in the North Texas area, I guarantee you 99.9% of them would say biological males who identify as women should not be allowed to participate in women's sports. Of the 1,025 people who identified as Democrats or leaning Democrats, 67 said transgender athletes should not be allowed to compete with women. Shortly after November's election, a national exit poll conducted by the Concerned Women for America Legislative Action Committee found that 70% of moderate voters saw the issue of Donald Trump's opposition to transgender boys and men playing girls in women's sports and of transgender boys and men using girls and women's bathrooms as important to them. What? Important? Yeah, it's important because they don't want them in there. And 6% said it was the most important issue of all, while 44% said it was very important. But it didn't say which way they leaned. What it is important because they didn't want them in there. They didn't want them boys and girls bathrooms and vice versa. Cockett previously called her state and Florida deplorable during a December hearing on transgender athletes over conservative legislation by lawmakers in those states. Her comments came during a House Oversight and Accountability Subcommittee on Healthcare and Financial Services hearing to discuss proposed changes to Title IX by the Biden administration that would redefine sexual discrimination to include gender identity. Man, y'all gotta tell me what I'm missing. It's something that we missing because people cannot be just this thrown off to actually think this is a viable and a legit issue or concern of American people. There has to be money behind this. Has to be. That's the only logical, illogical thing that I can think of as to why somebody would push for this so hard. Or they feel this way themselves and don't really want to come out and say something, or maybe they have a gay family member and they really don't want to come out and say something, so they just fighting for something that makes no sense. When lawmakers like this are so far out of touch with what women need, we see states pushing back, Crockett said of her Republican colleagues. U.S. Representative Glenn Grothman of Wisconsin, who spoke before her. At least states that will allow you to push back. I'm from the state of Texas, and of course, they don't want you to ever have an opportunity to raise your voice in the state of Texas. You can raise your voice, say what you want to, but say something that makes some sense. Boys should be, boys play against boys and girls play against girls, period. Simple as that. In fact, Miss Perry, I know your organization, the Heritage Foundation, oh Lord, loves Texas. Oh, they love Texas, she added. I love Texas too. That's where I'm from, but I'm not part of no Heritage Foundation. What's your point? They're always sending us some nonsense bills that somehow set this country on the wrong trajectory. Trajectory. They send them to Texas. They send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank. So now we deplorable. Okay. So anyway, so here's my point of this story. Like I said, the point I want to get to. This is silly. I don't know why Jasmine Crockett is still talking about this. They still put somebody still what they say turning that key in her back, and she's steadily going for whatever reason. Pretty soon she's going to be ignored all the way around. She keep bumping stuff like this. But here's the problem with her and her fellow Democrats are trying to push on this issue. What they fail to mention and to talk about are all the transgender people who have been taken off this planet at, I will say, at an alarming rate, but not because of sports, not because of bathroom issue, but because of deception. Yep, I'm gonna say it. You see it in the news all the time, and I see these stories, and they'll say transgender so and so. You know what I'm saying? Found in the car, transgender so and so, found in the back of an alley, found a ditch or dumpster somewhere. Shot up, and it's a big outrage. And there should be nobody deserves to get taken out like that. But when you look into the story, you find out that these people who love to be who they want to be so much, they don't tell the person that they're dating that they was previously born a man, that they are still a man. Hell, let's just say that. And they'll have relationships with people and they'll be with them for weeks and months on end. And all of a sudden, it comes out, they get naked, and boy touches them or whatever, and come to find out that they was a dude. And now the dude trips out and takes them out. And no one says that part. No one says the quiet part out loud. What y'all need to be doing is getting mental health programs to help these people who claim that there's something that they're not. Understanding, even if they want to continue to do this, because I'm not a proponent of it at all. But if they want to continue to live this way, they have to tell people the truth because they're putting their lives in danger. Not like if someone has AIDS or something like that, HIV, and don't tell nobody. That's worse because they're putting their lives is already in danger. Now they're putting other people's lives in danger. So yes, they need to do. discuss that from the jump. But with this here, you need to discuss that from the jump, from the very jump, and let people know, hey, I'm a boy. Are you cool with that? I was born a male. Are you cool with that? They say yes, then you keep it on. They say no, then you know what I'm saying. Keep moving, but you are actually saving your life, and you keeping this guy from going to prison, or you might be saving his life because who knows, you might get the upper hand on him when he try to attack you. But anyway, you are creating a hostile situation every time. So, like I said, what the Democrats need to do, if they really cared about transgender people like the way they say they do, and not putting them in harm's way by having these dudes going to a girl's bathroom and risking these girls' fathers putting hands on them, or their brothers or whoever putting hands on them when they see them, and people holler like this is unfair because I'm a girl. No, you don't do that. You're supposed to avoid conflict, not step in and create conflict. So what they need to do is, like I said, get some mental health programs, some kind of, I don't know, counseling, and have these and teach these folks the problem with the way that they are maneuvering. If you want to do that and you want to go off to a whole nother, create your own little town. I think they tried to do San Francisco like that a while back. But anyway, check your create your own little city, create your own little sports leagues. You do that. You do that. But the problem is you're trying to force the average citizen, the average person, to accept and to be involved in this lifestyle. And it's just not happening. It's not conducive to building families. It's not conducive to creating generation after generation legacy. That's not what that's not what this promotes. And that's what the problem is. It promotes, think about it. If this becomes a norm, if it will become a norm, it promotes the end of civilization as we know it due to human interaction, due to you know what I'm saying, lean not under your own understanding, due to the way we think. And that is just that, you know what I'm saying? And that's not right. And that's not what this world's about. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Like I say, Jasmine Crockett needs to sit down somewhere. She's embarrassing herself and embarrassing us black folk here in Texas for sure. Tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, sharing with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do it right here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those four things cost you nothing but maybe a couple minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you would like to support us financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers. And you can go to the description box where there are a couple of links in there. You can click on it, you know what I'm saying? Buy me a cup of hot Kayo or what have you. Also, don't forget to hit the shop button and go to marlonmorales.com where you can see all our luxury products we have. We have silks, perfumes, colognes, some beard products, handbags, and a lot more. Check it out. You and your loved ones will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.